What's up, everybody? Tony Beats here. We're going to be talking about WWE 2K15, and there's a brand new article that came out on Bleacher Report, and they talk about a lot of stuff in the game, so let's get right into it. Brian Marquez, I think is how you pronounce it, had a hands-on impression of the game, graphics, presentation, and more, so let's talk about it. He says the graphics are still stunning. We had Cena, Orton, Cesaro, and Goldust. They looked absolutely amazing, but we hear that CM Punk looked less than phenomenal, but his render was good. What it looks like is that CM Punk left the company and wasn't available to be scanned for the game. This also makes me wonder, when you think about legends, some of the legends aren't alive anymore, and if they're going to be in the game and they're not going to be able to do the body scans, are they going to have less than stellar look to them? I think what we're getting is a updated version of last year's game of CM Punk, since he wasn't able to be scanned in the game. He goes on to say the environments weren't quite as sharp as the wrestlers, though in some ways it looked the arenas and the crowds were a notch below the superstars as it relates to clarity and sharpness. This didn't ruin the visual appeal, but updating the arenas and crowd will likely be an area of opportunity for the series moving forward. So we know that. That's how it always happens. They update the graphics, they make it look even better. And this is the first time on the next gen consoles, so that is a good thing. We can always improve on the graphics. Goes on to say, Universe Mode is in the game. There isn't a lot of talk about it leading up to SummerSlam weekend. We can confirm that Universe Mode will be in the game. This is excellent news for those who consider the mode to be one of the most important in the entire game. We didn't learn any new details about how it will function, but it's nice to know that it will be in the game. So there you go. Universe Mode is in the game. It'll be on all the console versions, so even the version of 360 and PS3 will still have it. It just makes me wonder if they're not really gonna do any improvements to Universe Mode, because they're not focusing on it. I'm thinking they're going on the 2K showcase and they're working on the graphics, so I don't know that we're really going to get an updated version on Universe Mode. Hopefully we do, and I'm wrong, but from this article, they haven't talked about it. It's in the game, but we don't really know about it. We also know Creation Suite is back. Much like Universe Mode, there are no previous information about Creation Suite. I called the Universe Mode one of the most important modes in the game because it had to save room for Creation Suite on the list. The Creation Suite is truly the lifeblood of the wrestling game. If it's deep, it adds more replay value to the game. We are told something special is on the horizon for Creator Wrestler feature, but that is the extent of the information we were given. A clue towards this might come when NBA 2K announces more detail with its My Career mode. It seems logical that the two games would have similar capacity in that regard. While there's obviously clear difference between professional wrestling and basketball, the fact that both the WWE and NBA 2K games are developed by Visual Concepts would lead to believe that the Hoop Series might serve as a preview for the 2K Series Annual. So we're going to get some kind of awesome update on Creation Suite. Right now, we don't know what it is, what's going to happen, but we will stay tuned to see if we can find out, and that's exciting because, like he said, this is one of the most important modes in the game because you can create guys that aren't in the game. I'm hoping we get some sort of connect feature where you can scan your face in. That's what I want, but we'll see. 2K Showcase. The 2K Showcase functions a lot like Attitude Era mode and 30 Years of WrestleMania mode. It's a task-based interactive journey through the legendary feud you've attempting to relive. Upon release, CM Punk, John Cena, and Triple H Shawn Michaels will be available. The only playable match in the preview version was the Punk-Cena battle from Money in the Bank 2011. The arena looked authentic and the gameplay was compelling, though almost identical to 30 Years of WrestleMania and Attitude Era. That probably won't bother most gamers, as it's all about the story, which appears to be told. Now they're going to talk about some gameplay. But first, I want to talk about 2K Showcase, and that sounds bad. I don't like it. I'm not a fan of 30 Years of WrestleMania. Attitude Era mode was cool at the time, but I think the 2K Showcase might not be the best. I mean, the problem with this that I always have with this kind of mode is that I've seen it. I'm a huge hardcore fan, so I've seen it all. I lived through the John Cena CM Punk feud, as a lot of you have, and you watched it and you know what's going to happen. Yes, it's kind of cool to go back and see it. If they make cool promos and stuff like that, I'll be ready. If they do a CGI version of CM Punk's pipe bomb promo and it looks really good, that'll be fun. But honestly, I'm not that excited to play this. So I'm glad that I have the next-gen console. I'm glad that I have the PS4, the Xbox One, so I can play the other mode, not 2K Showcase, but I can play my career. So let's see what they'd say about gameplay. Chain grappling system. Real WWE matches don't start with running power slams, spine busters, or a strong move. They're usually a little dance that precedes the heavy artillery. The chain grappling system aims to emulate that. In theory, it's a great idea, but I'm not sure how it'll work for long term in the game. At the beginning of all matches, there's a rock, paper, scissors like minigame to grab early control. The wrestler in the ring transition from collar to elbow tie-ups to side deadlocks, arm cranks, and other fundamental wrestling maneuvers. Each transition presents a new opportunity for you to gain advantage or break the hold. So I've already talked about this before, but basically it's rock, paper, scissors. If you press circle, they press square. I can't remember which one would win, but something like that. You know, like rock, paper, scissors. So X beats square, square beats, I don't know, something like that. I don't know what it exactly is, but you know what I mean. That's how it is. They're saying the first few times you play it, it's cool. However, after beginning a few matches with this minigame, I want to turn it off, or at least have the option to go without it. He asked game producer Mark Little if it would be possible. He couldn't give me full detail. He said he believed I would be happy with the final version. Perhaps tweaking the system would be remedy that somewhat tedious aspect. Again, I stress this was not the retail version, so we do not know what will make it into the final build. So it's kind of interesting to know that they're already tired from it, and they barely even played the game. I just imagine playing it over and over and over, and you get super bored with it because it slows down the game pace. And that's the one thing that I feel is going to be the bad thing. And let's talk about fatigue. It goes on to say the fatigue engine is awesome. There's no spamming the run button or jumping outside the ring to run away from an opponent to load up on taunt. All actions, especially running, take away from superstars' energy. The more energy they lose, the slower they perform moves like running, climbing the ropes, and much more. Some gamers might think the hint of realism will detract from the fun factor, but I found it to be the exact opposite. In fact, it added to the drama that long, grueling matches should have. Watching Orton labor to climb the top rope was awesome, considering I was about 10 minutes in a no-holds-barred match with Goldust. Thanks to the fatigue and damage factors, high-impact moves will not only leave the victims of devastating maneuvers slow to get up, the superstar executing the move now takes their time to collect themselves after landing a big suplex and similar moves. It looks great, but it will take some getting used to for those who are accustomed to blowing through those segments in a match. So what we're going to get is more realistic. The longer you play the match, the more tired you get. I'm okay with this if it's not slow. Like, I don't want a slow game. I want to be able to have fun and play like they're saying. But I guess if you get into like a 30-minute match, you should be tired, right? If you play a really, really long match, you should be tired. But we'll see. We'll see. Feeling the weight. By far, the best aspect of the gameplay was how appropriate heavy each superstar felt to control. In most cases, professional wrestlers are large human beings, and they should be handled as such. So, there we go. They're saying that it feels like the people are right. In WWE 2K15, you feel the weight of the character you're controlling. The cool thing was that it felt different to control Orton than it did to control Cesaro. The dynamics were different with each playable character. Noticing this made me wonder if weight detection for slams would be included in this year's game. I'm told it would be in before, but never quite came through the way it should. Someone like Kofi Kingston could slam the Big Show if he did enough damage to him in WWE 2K14. I asked Little if smaller guys would be able to perform lifting maneuvers against the super heavyweights this year. He replied, why would they? It would be great to hear the aspect of the game was getting some attention. So basically, I like the weight detection because it's realistic and that's the way it's supposed to be. It's also fun to know that some guys move around differently. I think Big Show should be slower than Rey Mysterio, right? But it doesn't feel like that when you play the game. You can always run around and do stuff like that, which is fine. Let's see what they do here. Improved commentary. This is something that I really want to talk about. We know that Jerry Lawler and Michael Cole performed commentary together, but during the SummerSlam Confidential panel, Lawler said that JBL had joined them in redoing the commentary. None of this new work seemed to make it into the build that was in LA. It was primarily the same subpar commentary from the previous version of the game. I have confidence this improvement simply hadn't been added in yet. Hopefully in the next build we'll get to see and hear the enhancements. So there we go. We know that they're going to have a 3-man booth according to the SummerSlam Confidential panel, which will be very, very interesting. I'm excited to have a 3-man booth. I love the commentator. If you haven't seen the leaked footage, the commentators actually get up when you go over to the announce table, which is kind of cool. And let's finish off this article, though. In the early screenshots were equivalent to the hand-picked headshots for a model, then this hands-on experience like an extensive in-person interview. While there's still more of the story to be told, the substance seems to match the beauty. So there we go. Some exciting details, some that look meh. Big things to take away from this. Commentary, like I said, is going to be awesome. 3-man booth. Weight detection is going to be cool. Fatigue will be in the game. CM Punk doesn't look that good because that's the way it is. Chain grappling system seems to slow down the game. 2K Showcase doesn't seem that cool. And Creation Suite and Universe Mode are back in the game. Let me know what you guys think of this article. Like I said, if you want to check out the article, there's a link in the description for you to check it out. Anyway, guys, hit that like button if you do enjoy this video. Tony Pizza Guy, frag out.